The Steam Halloween sale is here, and that means massive discounts on some of the best horror and thriller games that'll keep you up at night. From terrifying survival horror to intense combat and some downright chilling adventures, we've got it all. Stick around as we dive into 35 games you need to grab while they're on sale.
Do not give in to the darkness. Do not give in to the darkness. Do not give in to the darkness. You will find what you are searching for within the mountain.
Bramble, the Mountain King. It's an eerie action-adventure game that transports you into dark Scandinavian folklore. You play as a young boy named Ole on a quest to rescue his sister from mythical creatures. The game's atmosphere is a mix of fairy tale and horror as you encounter trolls, forest creatures, and other supernatural beings against an ominously beautiful landscape.
Wake us from our nightmares to make us new ones. A descent into a vast underground complex.
GTFO. It's an intense, team-based survival horror game for up to 4 players, focused on brutal difficulty and teamwork. As a group of prisoners sent to explore an underground complex, you'll need to strategize and communicate to survive. The game's atmosphere is thick with dread, enhanced by limited ammo, punishing enemies, and objectives that demand precise execution. The Evil Within 2 puts you back in the role of Detective Sebastian Castellanos, navigating a disturbing virtual world called STEM to save his daughter. This game blends psychological horror with survival mechanics, offering nightmarish creatures, resource management, and a warped narrative that shifts from open environments to claustrophobic horror, creating a deeply immersive experience. Voidwrought is an indie horror adventure that's both eerie and surreal. Set in a nightmarish void, it weaves psychological horror with mystery as you journey through various interconnected realms, each with unsettling sights and puzzles to solve. It stands out for its atmospheric art style and existential themes. Next, The Axis Unseen is a hunting horror game set in a vast, mythical wilderness inspired by old-world folklore. You play as a hunter tracking down supernatural creatures with a mystical bow. The game mixes exploration and hunting with survival elements, giving players a rugged, haunting experience as they venture through dark forests and strange landscapes.
I feel something lurking around in the dark.
Please, miss. You have to help me get out of here.
Tormented Souls plunges you into an abandoned mansion filled with gruesome secrets. You play as Caroline Walker, investigating strange occurrences. The fixed camera perspective, combined with dark atmosphere, puzzle solving, and terrifying encounters, pays homage to genre classics like Resident Evil and Silent Hill. Sker Ritual is a co-op horror FPS. It combines supernatural elements with tactical gameplay, where players face off against haunting adversaries known as the Quiet Ones. With customizable characters and mysterious lore, the game offers an unsettling atmosphere and challenging co-op gameplay. Backrooms, Escape Together, is based on the popular urban legend of the Backrooms. It's a cooperative horror game where you and your team must navigate endless hallways, evading hostile entities. Its distinctive setting creates a disorienting experience as players confront a maze that feels both endless and inescapable. Inscryption, a unique mix of card game mechanics, horror, and roguelike elements. The story unfolds as you play a card game with a mysterious stranger in a dark cabin. As you progress, you uncover dark secrets and cryptic messages, leading to a meta-narrative filled with surprises, puzzles, and chilling discoveries.
A curious soul dares to wander into my sanctum, the last bastion of true art in this forsaken world.
Let us not forget.
Beyond Hanwell takes you to a town under lockdown due to mysterious paranormal occurrences. Playing as a lone protagonist, you explore eerie locations filled with supernatural threats and cryptic puzzles. The game's unique blend of open-world exploration and survival horror elements creates a suspenseful, atmospheric journey filled with chilling moments. Sons of the Forest is the highly anticipated sequel to The Forest, where you're trapped on a cannibal-infested island and forced to survive. The game builds upon its predecessor with improved graphics, enhanced AI, and an even darker storyline. You'll face relentless enemies and strange creatures, adding a mix of survival horror and psychological suspense. This game is terrifying, especially when night falls. Dead by Daylight is a multiplayer horror game where one player takes on the role of a killer, while others play as survivors trying to escape. With a lineup of iconic horror villains, such as Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, and the Demogorgon, it's perfect for fans of horror. Each match is filled with tension and suspense as survivors repair generators and attempt to escape the killer's clutches. In Once Human, you're thrown into a world tainted by cosmic horror. As you explore, you face creatures that seem to come straight out of nightmares. The game's setting is twisted, with an art style that blends dark fantasy and horror. It's a fresh take on survival horror that makes the supernatural feel deeply unsettling and unpredictable. Cult of the Lamb is a quirky mix of horror, cuteness, and dark humor. You play as a lamb leading a cult, performing rituals and gathering followers. The game combines simulation and dungeon crawling, with a darkly whimsical twist that makes it both fun and oddly eerie. Its horror elements are subtle but effective, perfect for players looking for a Halloween experience with a lighter touch. In Dredge, you play as a fisherman in a small town with a dark secret. The gameplay combines fishing mechanics with supernatural horror, where you uncover strange relics from the depths and must fend off mysterious sea creatures. The game's atmosphere and unique blend of horror and exploration make it a memorable experience.
Live at the military blockade, the message is clear. The Nox event is contained. I repeat, the Nox event is contained.
What happened here? What's happening here? It's not contained. I had to find what I needed to survive and fight.
Project Zomboid is one of the most realistic and challenging zombie survival games. In this hardcore sandbox, you manage every aspect of survival, from food and shelter to health and mental state. It's brutally difficult, with permadeath and realistic needs that make every decision life or death. The game's retro aesthetic adds to its charm while delivering intense survival horror. Library of Ruina. This deck-building RPG sets you as the curator of a dark and mysterious library where you battle through intense, turn-based encounters. It's a strange, eerie experience with psychological elements and beautifully dark art. Each encounter reveals more about the story and secrets hidden within the library's walls. For fans of horror with a unique twist, Library of Ruina delivers something truly special. Lethal Company is a cooperative horror game where players team up to survive in haunted environments. Each player has unique skills, and working together is essential to make it through each level. The unpredictability of the enemies and tense gameplay make it an excellent choice for a Halloween gaming session with friends. It's fast-paced, full of jump scares, and incredibly fun.
The world has shared a message with me. The path to paradise is ready to be opened.
From the makers of Left 4 Dead, Back 4 Blood brings back the intense co-op zombie action fans love. Fight through Horde Infected with an array of weapons and special abilities, making each playthrough unique. It's fast, brutal, and even more intense with friends, perfect for a Halloween night filled with zombie mayhem. This Tim Burton-inspired survival game drops you in a twisted world where you'll need to gather resources, build shelters, and fight off strange creatures. Don't Starve Together is a multiplayer version of Don't Starve, allowing you to team up with friends in a creepy, ever-darkening world. The unique art style and whimsical horror make it a standout experience.
You're fighting to survive. Scarred by ancient volcanoes. Extreme environments like lava fields and caves make perfect hideouts for marauders.
In Days Gone, you're a lone biker in a post-apocalyptic world filled with fast-moving infected known as freakers. The open-world gameplay lets you explore freely while managing supplies and crafting gear. The intense encounters with freaker hordes, along with its atmospheric storyline, make Days Gone a perfect open-world horror adventure.
I even have you here to keep a smile on my face.
The Batman Arkham Collection includes 3 of the best superhero games ever, each drenched in Gotham's dark atmosphere. The games may not be horror per se, but the eerie settings, villains like Scarecrow, and intense detective work make it a great fit for Halloween gaming. SIGNALIS is a pixel art survival horror game set in a dystopian future. You play as Elster, a replica technician on a mission to uncover what happened to her missing partner. The game combines retro aesthetics with intense atmosphere, providing immersive experience reminiscent of classic horror.
I've dreamt of this. This place of fear and fury. Do you hear it?
In Hellblade 2, you return as Senua in her continued journey through a world shaped by Norse mythology and psychological horror. The game delves deeper into Senua's struggles with psychosis, combining stunning visuals, realistic soundscapes, and emotionally charged combat to create a hauntingly immersive experience that explores trauma and resilience.
It is a beautiful day on Citadel Station.
Humanity is
on the verge of a new era.
System Shock is the pioneering sci-fi horror game that set the stage for titles like BioShock and Deus Ex. In this cyberpunk horror classic, you're trapped on a space station controlled by the malevolent AI Shodan. The game's updated version adds high-quality visuals, new gameplay mechanics, and modernized controls, making it easier to experience this intense story of man versus machine. Isolated atmosphere, combined with Shodan's chilling voice, will leave you questioning every step you take. REKA is a folk-inspired game where you play as a Slavic witch who travels in a hut on chicken legs. Your goal is to help villagers, brew potions, and survive against strange supernatural forces. Its unique folklore-based story and whimsical visuals make it a charming, eerie experience. In Castlevania, Lords of Shadow, you play as Gabriel Belmont, a knight of a holy order on a quest to defeat evil forces and resurrect his beloved. With a gothic world inspired by classic horror and dark fantasy, the game's epic story combines mythical creatures like werewolves, vampires, and reapers. Its combat feels incredibly satisfying, and the cinematic quality creates an unforgettable experience with rich, dark lore. Vampire Survivors is an indie gem where you face endless waves of monsters in a top-down, rogue-like shooter style. You start as a simple character, but quickly gather upgrades and power-ups to deal massive damage. The gameplay gets incredibly intense as hordes of enemies approach, and you're forced to strategize to survive. It's simple yet addictive, with overwhelming replayability and perfect for quick, thrilling sessions. Set in the universe of Alien, Alien Isolation follows Amanda Ripley, daughter of Ellen Ripley, as she seeks answers about her mother's disappearance. This game's stealth and horror elements are perfectly executed, as you have to avoid the xenomorph stalking you through the space station. The game's design emphasizes suspense, making the xenomorph feel unpredictable and deadly, keeping players on edge the entire time.
Hear me? Fired.
Still Wakes the Deep takes place on a remote offshore oil rig where something dark has happened. The horror here is largely atmospheric. You're stranded in the middle of the ocean, and it's up to you to survive whatever is lurking in the shadows. The game's setting is isolated and eerie, adding a psychological horror twist as you delve deeper into the rig's secrets.
This PDA has rebooted with one directive: to keep you alive.
Subnautica combines survival mechanics with the haunting beauty of the ocean. You're stranded on an alien water planet, where you must scavenge for resources to survive. The game starts peacefully enough, but as you dive deeper, you'll encounter mysterious and terrifying creatures. With a perfect mix of awe-inspiring visuals and creepy encounters, Subnautica is both an adventure and a horror experience. In 7 Days to Die, you're dropped into a post-apocalyptic world teeming with zombies. This game is a unique blend of survival and tower defense, where every 7th day brings a deadly horde you must prepare for. You can build bases, scavenge supplies, and even team up with friends. It's a challenging, open-world experience where survival means staying on guard every single night. Notification bell to stay updated with more gaming sales. Happy Halloween and happy gaming!